evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of Keskalokil, where we have successfully fended off a goblin invasion with not just 0 dwarven fatalities, but almost no dwarven interaction with the goblins at all, because the automated goblin drowning machine turned out to be highly effective. The goblins have basically only just cleared off. Indeed, 2 of them, I think, are still here, hiding in a tunnel under the river. Here they are. We should probably send someone after them at some point. It also turned out that this goblin invasion was a highly effective way of reducing our giant hamster population, because the goblins killed quite a lot of them. Though I think the giant hamsters may have achieved 1 goblin death in revenge, or something like revenge. And what else? Oh yes, and our war grizzlies did pretty well. I observed while poking around that 2 of our war grizzlies now have names, though yes, this one in particular has apparently killed 3 goblins. I don't know if those were all in the latest round of in the latest siege, but there's definitely some shakes around the goblin hammerman by the right foot and the severed part sails off in an arc. So yeah, probably. So yes, war grizzlies seem to be pretty effective if we can breed a decent quantity of them. I think all of them survived that invasion, so that siege, so like there's a good chance we can train a decent number. I think
thinking about real world grizzlies, surely the limiting factor to breeding a ton of them would be food.
Yeah, the nice thing about carnivores in Dwarf Fortress is they don't eat. Also, we have giant hamsters.
I think this seems to be what do they think carnivore means then?
I mean, dwarves eat and grazing animals eat, but there isn't currently much of a mechanism for any other animal to require food. Goblins don't eat either.
Kittens, cats?
No, they don't eat. This is why if the goblin in a cage that we hurled into the sea would be still alive if we hadn't destroyed their cage and also punched a hole into one of our bedrooms. But only 1 bedroom. We've abandoned the bedroom below it. Partly because we can't get into it. Well, we could knock down one of the walls. Anyway, so yes, I think war grizzlies are an excellent plan. And anyway, there would be no problem feeding them. If they needed food, they could eat goblins. Like, the goblins turn up in large numbers.
How are the leopards eating people's faces coming on?
We've got... Verity asks, how are the leopards eating people's faces coming on? We currently have 4 trained war leopards. So I'm a bit worried that that's too few. But they might do all right, especially since I would prefer to keep 2 of them as breeding stock. But on the other hand, they might be able to adequately back up the grizzlies. So... it may be reasonable to send 2 of them out into the goblin welcoming party. Yes, I am hopeful that we should certainly try and see if they survive. We've got another 3 grizzly bear cubs on the way, and 5 leopard cubs. So when those grow up, we'll be able to add them to our supply of like fallback eating things. Right, I just need to reorganise my IRC world so I can see what people are saying to me, though they're mostly blithering about Bluetooth audio at the moment.
Bluetooth studio.
Right. So one thing is I've noticed is there is this here, which I suspended construction of because I didn't think it was going to get finished in time, but apparently I've unsuspended that, so that's good. I think we're not going to bother trying to drain the water out of the goblin drowning machine just yet. Like, if we did that, then we could extract some of the bits of goblin from it, or rather extract their weapons and armour. But I don't think that's particularly useful. We have plenty of stuff to melt already. More generally, I think we want to try to arrange that we are not melting copper weapons, because those could be put into weapon traps, but we probably should melt all copper armour, and indeed most things above that. I think, bows and crossbows we don't want, because we can put those into weapon traps and then someone has to come along and reload them every time, which is just silly. So yes, bows and crossbows, and I suppose bolts as well can be melted down if we want to. So yes, we do appear to have melting of copper bolts already set up. If I press return, does the scrolling work? Yes. But apparently there are still more copper bolts out there. So let's gratuitously unforbid all of those and mark them for melting. Though there is an argument that the effort of melting down individual bolts is probably not worth it. Conveniently, the goblins come in fairly consistent armour, so we don't have a lot of different object types to melt. Like, there is no shortage of copper helms to melt down. So I think we should unmark for melting all kinds of copper weapons, so that we can instead put them into weapon traps. Are the ones that I can't mark for melting the ones that are already in weapon traps, I wonder? Of course, we then probably do want to forbid everything that's in the goblin drowning pool, because otherwise we'll try to install those. Or maybe we won't, because they're probably inaccessible, so we probably can't select them for installation in... meltdown crossbows. I mean, we could try training people to use crossbows, but... yeah, I reckon things that are unavailable for melting are because they're in a weapon trap already. Yes, we do really have no shortage of weapons to put into our weapon traps, do we? We just might have to get them out of the river. Even if we aren't bothering with anything better than copper, given that we only have 30 dwarves, we don't need that many weapons for them to wield.
Do they not break them all the time?
Weapons don't tend to get broken, unlike armour. Like, you'll notice that these generally don't have X's next to them, indicating that they're worn out. So yes, I don't think they're going to break. Right, so that gives us more things to melt, but also several things not to melt. So yeah, I think I'm going to carry on slowly building more weapon traps. We clearly have more or less enough weapon traps. Oh yes, there's an elven caravan, isn't there? Thank you for reminding me, game, or rather past self, who didn't cancel that notification. Let's do the usual thing of finding bins that look interesting, by which I mean bins that appear to contain something we're confident we can sell to elves. Don't need much because the elves don't generally bring very much that we want. But there will often be something. It occurs to me that if we're not making clothes, we may not have very much stock of them. They don't appear as a convenient number up here. So we might... That'll do. We might want to... try to trade for some new clothes. Oh, the goblins in the tunnel have just killed one of our cats. That's unfair. They're still in the tunnel. Where did the cat end up? There. Who found the cat dead then, given it's underneath a goblin?
Maybe someone saw it dead before the goblin fell on top of it.
No. The goblins killed it.
Oh.
We for reasons have two goblins in our tunnel still, and like possibly I should try to flush them out at some point. Yes, I've already confirmed that the elves aren't passing through there. Not quite sure where the elves are, how the elves are going to get into the fortress. Let's watch them. There's a small chance the elves will accidentally trigger the goblin drowning machinery. I think that they will understand that they will have been magically informed of where the traps are. So I think they'll be fine. But I'm not certain. So let's watch, just in case. What's that message about? No migrants. Well, yes, we weren't expecting any. Yes, good. Observe. Elves do not trigger the drowning machine. Happily, the goblins don't send... dear. Id Adsazir Ekil Thingamy. Id Sunbridge, the pointy handle. Right, I'm going to fire you from that and get you into the lardy larks. If I can.
You're fired for stumbling around obliviously.
Okay, can I do that from here then? Okay, how do I remove you from this role then? Actually, can I do something different? Can I select you and give you... I can't give you personally a thing. Those are all orders. So for the others, I can click on them and change who they are. And that button allows me to change who has those roles, and so the fact that that button is missing here means I can't immediately remove someone from a squad, at least not if there is anyone in the squad. Maybe I have to remove everyone from the squad. That's a mess. Then I can remove the captain from it. Because they have been unhappy for quite some time, and I think I need to get them out of there. Right, the Waters of Twinkling is more or less empty. So what I shall do is go, can I... Oh, hang on, I don't have a militia commander, and that's why I can't change the set of dwarves in any of these, I think.
Nobody is suitable to be a militia commander.
Well, I think it requires like organisation skills or something. So
Something that dwarves lack.
let's appoint one hand thingamy on the grounds that I think the militia commander might not actually ever go into battle. Right, and now I can change the captains of the squads, right. So let's put someone different, someone else who's in the Salty Inks should be promoted. Say Udib, Udis, something. Oops, wrong button. I, for some reason, don't get a search here, but still, there we go. Right. So now if I go into the Salty Inks... Ah, right, there. I had to close that window in order to get that sorted. So now we can find the person who is stumbling around obliviously, who is still rather oddly officially a militia captain. Have I screwed this up somehow? Oh, it was Splatter the Lyrical Seas, not the Salty Inks. Stoat. Okay. I fired the wrong person, yes. Right. Bomrake A. I think we might have too many Shorasts. I can find them. Oh well, we'll make it Shorast N instead. I can find them. Right. Now, you're no longer a militia commander, and therefore now we can put you into the Lardy Larks. Where I hope you will cheer up a little. So that means I accidentally fired someone. Well, it was that one, wasn't it? Nish Zanegsat. I think, yes. Only I can't choose them. Ah, is that because I had that other window open? Yes. We'll just check that Nish Zanegsat is indeed a swimmer. Yes, right. Okay, so they're no longer in charge of their squad, but they won't mind that, probably. Check there isn't a... really grumpy at having been fired. No. Unlike in Crusader Kings, no one complains very much about losing their job. Right, so my hope now is that Idad Sazir Ekilerush will cheer up a bit as a result of that.
What, they recover from the previous stimulation?
Yes, yes. Dear Paul. Oh, right. Oh dear. A giant hamster has found a weapon trap, and because the giant hamster is technically wild, it will now trigger the weapon trap upon treading on it. Oops.
I think it was in the middle of trying to attack a raven hatchling. So
Yeah, we'd probably like to get... I mean, giant hamsters were kind of endearing, but also annoying because they keep requiring training. They have a stupidly short lifespan. They run away from goblins. And now, when they become wild, they start attacking my ravens. So I'm quite happy if we mysteriously run out of giant hamsters. Possibly I should geld the remaining male giant hamsters just to ensure this. Right, Idad Sazir has now become an Axe Lord in... Yes. They've become an Axe Lord in the notional sense of being meant to go and do military training but not having anywhere they can train. And so having to find ways to entertain themselves which will cheer them up. Because there is a terrible problem of dwarves insisting on working when they should be doing something else. Oh, I should summon the broker to the depot, shouldn't I? Except where are the elves? The elves had just made it past there and managed not to get themselves killed, hadn't they? Oh, it's there they are now. Somewhere. Yes, an elf leading a horse there, and an elf leading a horse there. For some reason, no one brings wagons anymore. I don't understand. Possibly for the same reason. Maybe there are problems with wagons breeding as well. Well, they're technically animals for reasons. So, I mean, I don't think they actually breed. I don't think they even have gender. But meanwhile,
animus in the same way that something like a bronze colossus might be.
yes. Just that, like, Dwarf Fortress doesn't have a mechanism for things that move around that aren't animals, so they're a kind of animal. And Dwarf Fortress is quite capable of having an animal made of wood, or indeed bronze. So, like, they work perfectly well as things that, like, can be destroyed and turned into their component parts. It's just that what you end up with is rather curiously wagon wood. Because, well, it's the wood of the wagon.
I hear Arthur saying, wagon woo.
Thank you. So another cat getting into a fight. I think we need to go and do something about these goblins because they keep killing our cats.
Get bigger cats.
Well, I mean, I could try to get the leopards down there, but I think the problem is if we have dwarves lead the leopards down there, there'll be dwarves in civilian mode who will then be scared of the goblins. I think it would probably be safer to send some military dwarves down there.
I mean, this is surely a fundamental weakness of war leopards, that if they have to be led into place by a civilian animal trainer.
Well, the aim is we put them in place before the goblins arrive. I mean, we can assign them to particular dwarves, so they can be taken out there by military dwarves instead. But go and pray to Erong then. How difficult can it be? If you're fed up because you haven't been able to pray to Erong, go and pray to Erong. Right, yes, so of course it is awkward that the goblins are in a corridor, but there are only two of them, and frankly one dwarf can take two goblins. Or we try to construct a system for flooding that corridor, but that might be a bit awkward. So which squad is currently like training or something? Current month is Granite when the Salty Inks are training. Right, let us summon the salty inks to go here.
Or you. Right, I'm going to the loo.
So we'll let the salty inks
I'll find
organise
out
themselves.
which of you, whether both of you have managed to come up with the stupid anagram by the time I
I
get back.
don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing any anagrams. I'm all here on Wednesday.
Right. What are you doing? Oh, you're trying to get a giant hamster to the right place, are you? Okay. Right. I think because the giant hamsters have just got annoying, I'm going to take the remaining. Okay, we've only got 4 that are still tame. I'm going to geld the 3 of those that are male, or at least try. We'll see if it works. Right, and there are 2 caged giant hamsters that we could try to train. So yeah, we're quite short of giant hamsters now anyway. So what are people doing? Cleaning because there's blood everywhere. Loading a weapon trap, which suggests we've got a weapon trap that has a ranged weapon in it, which is probably fairly unhelpful. Trying to get animals to the right place. And several of them either picking up their equipment or trying to get down to the place where I've asked the dwarves to assemble in order to flush out the remaining 2 goblins. Does that mean we can trade now? Yes. No, we don't need any clay. Possibly we should buy some musical instruments, but I'm not buying one for 3,112 money. I don't think I can afford that. I mean, I probably could if I put some effort into it, but like, there's the awkwardness of paying for things, buying things with stuff that the goblins are willing to take, which like doesn't include leather. Let's see what else they've got. Some toys. Oh, they've got more leopards. We'll buy a leopard off them. And we buy, yeah, we could buy an adder as well. We'll see what we can do with adders. Though I feel that probably venomous snakes are going to be a fairly inefficient way to kill goblins.
Also, may be dangerous to train.
They're all, the animals that the elves bring will already be tame, I think. Don't want any wooden swords, even really good wooden swords. Ditto bows, armour. We will buy any vaguely nice clothes you brought. Because I don't know that we've got a great stock of those. And we'll sell you some worn out ones in return. Don't know that we need fruit. But like, it's here. I'll have some trousers and a loincloth and a skirt. Right, let's see if we can afford all of that with what we've hauled up here. That's decorated rope breed hood. Don't trust it. Might have animal parts in the decoration. Yeah, we may be running out of things we can trade to the elves, owing to having traded a lot of stuff to the elves. I'm now wondering, if I just try to trade far too little, will the elves select things that they want to add that they are actually willing to take? Can I use that as a way to avoid having to work this all out for myself? I don't want to sell the things that are actually good. We've bought them from you in the past, which suggests that we may not be that short of clothes if no one's wearing them yet.
Yeah.
I think someone said that silk is actually tradable to them. So let's see what happens if I hit the trade button now. Ah, then they suggest adding 2 silk items. Which they probably won't then say, how dare you offer us that? Right, so that means I can probably offer them very little, like 1 rope reed sock, and then let them dig through the stuff I bring to see what they want. Which, is a lot easier than going through looking for all of the things that... but we do see, that does suggest that silk items are fine. I'm wondering about buying more cages, but no.
There's some stupid bug where they put things in the counter offer, but they wouldn't accept if you offered them.
It is possible, but I think it's given that they did select two silk things out of an enormous pile of leather. Silk doesn't come out of silkworms. Silk comes out of hippos of a sort.
I mean, with Dwarf Fortress, you never know. So it could come out of almost anything.
Yes, indeed, it can come out.
Volcanoes.
I can't remember if it can come out of purring maggots. Oops.
I'm not sure I wanted to know that.
Well, mostly you get milk out of them.
I'm not going to do in the Dwarf Fortress.
You can turn it into cheese. It's the best cheese, I think.
Right. I'm giving this green death right.
Indeed, yes. In Dwarf Fortress, silk comes out of cave hippos and giant cave hippos. And, if you walk up to one, it will give you plenty of silk. Then it will bite you in the head, but first it will cover you in silk.
The aim is to distract you.
Well, more to stop you struggling.
So they're basically she-dog, really, right?
Yeah. Assuming she'll is venomous.
Can be, yes.
Giant cave hippos are definitely venomous. Right, how are we doing for amassing dwarves down here to go and kill the goblins? We've only got 2 so far. I'm going to want more than that, especially since one of them is apparently injured. 2 dwarves and a cat. Right, anyway, I think that's all the trading we want to do. So we will release our broker. We will then mark the, build the cages, of course. I'm wondering if we should start just using the goblins for, I was going to say target practice, that's not quite the right word, but for military training rather than trying to throw them into the sea. I think that was all the interesting animals we got. Everything else is goblin. Like we could set up a cage, surround it with dwarves, and then set up a goblin cage, surround it with military dwarves, and then release the goblin. Well, we did have 2 dwarves and a cat waiting to flush the goblins out. One of the dwarves has wandered off. Interrupted by beak dogs, that's a bit worrying. Hello, where are there still, I didn't think there were any uncaged beak dogs left here. No, our only beak dog is in a cage. So how was someone interrupted by beak dog, I wonder? Okay, the other dwarf has now wandered off and been replaced, so we're at 1 dwarf. We have also got an Etin in a cage. I'm not really sure what to do with the Etin in a cage. I don't think we should use that for live training. Possibly we should try to work out how to make it available to the goblins, but I fear that if the Etin survives that experience, then it's likely to be very annoyed and quite hard to put back in a cage. One dwarf, 1 cat. 2 dwarves, 1 cat. 2 dwarves, 2 cats. 3 dwarves. Well, that's almost enough. Are you like competent, well armed, that kind of thing? That looks pretty good. Yeah, you're a dabbling hammer dwarf. Yeah, let's not send. I mean, you'll probably do all right, but I'm not going to consider you as one of the however many dwarves I think I need for this job. You've brought a raven with you. Okay. So I think I want at least 1 more dwarf to turn up before I send them in. It's our current squad is 2 dwarves and 1 raven. What are you doing? You're stationing, but you're carrying a wheelbarrow. Why are you carrying a wheelbarrow? Why are you carrying a wheelbarrow with 2 copper mechanisms in it? Excuse me. Stop carrying that wheelbarrow with copper mechanisms in. Thank you. Maybe now you can get down to the correct place a bit quicker. No, you're still carrying that wheelbarrow. I told you to put it down. Maybe you're not carrying the wheelbarrow anymore. No, you've put the wheelbarrow down. Good. Are you... Oh, right, you're a recruit, but you have some mad... You're a legendary surgeon. So you're completely useless in combat, but you You are at least properly dressed. Good. So I would suggest getting a new helm.
That will help intimidate the enemy, because as soon as they see someone properly dressed, they'll go, well, that can't be a real soldier.
You're a legendary axe dwarf, right? Okay. I think. Oh, I should check you're properly equipped as well. Yeah, that looks fine. Look, my dwarves are getting much better at not turning up to battles naked. Right.
Because there's been a selection effect with all the dead dwarves.
Well, also I try to send them out early enough that they find their clothes, and I'm trying to configure them so that they don't do. What's that? Oh, you've brought a grizzly bear with you, have you? Okay, we're now at 5 dwarves, 1 raven, and 1 grizzly bear. I think that's probably enough.
I have brought a grizzly bear.
So I think we can then say, please would you kill that goblin and that goblin. The grizzly bear has departed backwards, as has one of the dwarves. But they've got a cat now and a raven. Happily, the, I think, reasonably decent swords dwarf is in the lead. Yes, we have a legendary swords dwarf in the lead, which, like, I hope will mean that it doesn't really matter who everyone else is. They have brought 2 ravens. Right. One of the ravens has passed straight through the battle. Right, that appears to be the goblins killed, with probably no deaths on our side. So the goblin spearman, yes, you killed a cat, well done. Then the militia captain turned up and oh, well, that's not good for the poor goblin spearman. Second hit from a dwarf, and well, their gauntlet was fine, but it was hit so hard that it tore a muscle in their arm. At which point they dropped their spear, and well, after that, then the poor goblin got stabbed in the eye, which was probably not helpful either. Well, they missed. They may have lost the ability to hit anything anymore.
Right, but they're still gamely trying.
Oh, yes, yes.
Goblin spearman is a strange term. In a world that contains words like craft dwarfship, you would think spear goblin.
Yes, but curiously, only the dwarves seem to go for sticking dwarf in the name of their thing, their fighters. I think the elves don't do it either, and the humans, obviously, it's a bit hard to tell. But I think even then, they're human spearmen rather than spear humans. So the goblin is now annoyed at having been wounded, but satisfied on improving fighting.
Yes, that's going to last them the rest of their life.
Yep. Oh, we've just done the same to your left arm. And then bitten your ear off. Surprised by that one.
The militia captain seems to be finding a lot of them to repeatedly charge
In a narrow corridor.
where they were one square apart to start with. I wonder if in this game charge is a notional thing that you do within the space of one cell.
I think you can do it in a square. Yes, so I think you will knock the other party back, which may or may not be helpful. Yeah, so we get repeated stabbing, but that's converted into blunt trauma through the armour. Now enraged, but also unconscious. Surely you can now work out a way to get round this iron helm. Hell, you can take it off them. No, I'm going to repeatedly stab you in your helmet. Sufficiently frequently that the goblin regained consciousness. Yes, I think this actually is a problem that giant cave hippos have as well. Because the standard thing, if you've got an unconscious enemy, is to attack them in the head. If they've got a decent enough helmet, an unconscious enemy can then turn out to be quite tough because you keep hitting their helmet. Once the goblin here woke up, the militia captain started attacking them in different ways, and eventually managed to separate their lower torso into two pieces. But yes, that was kind of messy. How did the lasher do? Apart from killing 2 cats early on. I kind of feel that the goblin lasher really should have been like working on attacking the militia captain while the militia captain was dealing with the spearman. But no. And oh right, you've lost your arm, your lower right arm on the first attack. Second attack. You lost your right hand with the first attack, and then your lower right arm with the second attack. And then lost the use of your left arm, at which point, yeah, you're not going to be doing well. Are we going to have the same problem of repeatedly stabbing you in the head?
The scroll bar suggested not going to take that.
No, no.
The scroll bar is a spoiler for some of these thrilling fights.
Yes, yes.
That is actually a danger with recording esports tournaments off Twitch. I have to carefully not look at how long the video file is.
So yes, Goblin Lasher misses, but the someone else turned up. A manager turned up with a spear, and that was quite effective and completely destroyed the goblin's mail shirt. So we don't know quite how they died, but messily is, I think, the main answer. Anyway, that's dealt with our remaining 2 loose goblins. Let's just mark everything down there as unforbidden, in case we want it for anything.
Those are problem nightmares.
Yes. One of our goblins was called Stasos Scourgewindy, and the other one was called slightly odder name of Ozard Problem Nightmares. Sorry, Ozard Problem Nightmare.
Oh yes, sorry, quite right. The S was because I said not cool.
Right. So that's the only slightly worrying thing, and yeah, basically a legend, as far as I can see, a legendary legendary military dwarf, which most of mine are, is unlikely to be hurt by a goblin unless they manage to get sufficiently tired that they pass out through exhaustion. But the problem is that if a single dwarf gets surrounded by goblins, they will pass out through exhaustion before they can kill all the goblins. See, it is indeed a tame adder. Well, let's release it from the cage. And there we have a tame leopard, which we can release and train for war. Skip one of the, since there's no urgency to that training. Just checking. So all the stray leopard cubs are tame. And because of course because they come from a stock that's always been tame. There's still some ravens that need it. We have two. Oh, you don't have anyone officially meant to be training you. Let's say anyone can train that one. So there's only one raven hatchling that needs taming. The rest are now tame. That lot are all in a pretty decent state as well. Yes, the raven situation all looks good. I mean, we have plenty of ravens. They're not much use, but they are picturesque. All right, there's someone training that raven, putting other ravens where they should be. Let's just check that the place where ravens should be has all the ravens assigned to it. No, it doesn't. Put more ravens in the tower. One thing with ravens, of course, is you can't geld them. Leave that semi-wild one until it's been properly trained to avoid embarrassment. So we can't avoid a raven explosion. Well, we can. We just remove their nest boxes. Given how long ravens live, it's like 20 or 30 years in the game, I think. Oh, well, our bears has died. It's a black bear, so it's not one of our beloved grizzlies, but someone's toppled the pressure plate. That's a bit of a problem. Please dump that cat corpse. I mean, they should be automatically dumping cat corpses, but Asan Thingamy is throwing a tantrum. Are you in the Lardy-Larks? How unhappy are you anyway? Well, fairly unhappy. Given that you have just thrown a tantrum, I'm going to suggest that you, if you're not already in the Lardy-Larks, that you join the Lardy-Larks. Have you toppled the important pressure plate? You have. Nuisance, right. Well, we'll need to install a new pressure plate there as a matter of some urgency then. But possibly not until after you finish tantruming.
Menace perplexed.
Yes, menace perplexed. All right, that's a wild giant hamster having found one of the weapon traps again. Yeah, this is a danger of weapon traps, of course, is that wild animals will walk into them and get minced. So, no, citizens do not trigger. Creatures do trigger. Everything from reptile men to dragons. Can we not use the two mechanisms that are right next to us? Right, the tantruming soldier has moved away a bit. Maybe now we can, well, I don't really mind. If we have to haul things... Oops, no, we want to trap, don't we? Resetting mode, yes. Place it there. All right, now we can talk about the nearby copper mechanisms. You've toppled the weapon trap as well, you nuisance. Stop destroying our traps. I mean, the weapon traps don't matter so much. Have you managed to get yourself badly injured recently, or are you just in a general mess? Oh, right, no, they're all old injuries. But I notice that you're not actually carrying a weapon, which makes me think that you may not actually be of any use in a fight anyway. So you can stay in the Lardy-Larks. Possibly we can confirm that by staring very hard at the health information. Right, so you've lost motor nerves in your right arm and in your left foot and in your left hand. So yes, you're probably not in a position to do very much, which is probably why you're so annoyed. Not sure I can come up with a good nickname for someone in that state. Oh well. That's fine. We'll leave you in the Lardy-Larks indefinitely, I think, because you're probably not going to be a lot of use for anything else. Are you still tripping? Yes. Traps. Oh, Asincedrastrus recruit cancels starting fist fight. 2 injured.
This is why he's a novice recruit. Right, you stage people tomorrow probably.
I can't tantrum properly because my hands don't work. Well, maybe you can get yourself some family then. Like, we don't know of any family that you actually have here. So Kogan Kibor really doesn't need to be in the Lardy-Larks anymore. I mean, they're in charge, so kind of maybe they can stay there anyway. I don't know. How were you feeling about cleaning traps? Well, mostly noticing that you're a skilled fighter. That's not bad for a child. Only a dabbling swimmer, but we'll deal with that once you're an adult. Use the one cleaning a trap, yes. So yes, I think these traps round here need a bit of getting the goblin parts out of them. Because weapon traps can jam if they get triggered often enough. The reason why I made the last two weapon traps, the kind of last resort weapon traps, into out of artifact mechanisms is that I think artifact mechanisms mean that traps don't ever jam. So someone is also working on rebuilding that trap. I don't think we get any indication that a trap is or isn't jammed, though, which is kind of annoying. And yes, so there is a dwarf working on building that one, and once that one's built, then so yes, I'm inclined to start removing the nest boxes, at least as they become empty, which I notice that one is, simply to slow down the breeding rate of ravens, because I think we've probably got enough for the present. I suppose I should allow for the fact that the captured ones will need repeated training. But no, there's enough there anyway. Once that lot are all fully grown, that will be enough ravens. So yes, this is not the most... oh, are you cleaning another trap? No, you're playing with the bronze toy boat. You're just doing it on a weapon trap. So no one is currently building the new, replacing the pressure plate, which is a bit of a problem. But, oh, can I suspend construction of that trap in favour of the pressure plate? Will that work? Okay, one of our tame wombats is getting into a fight. Oh, dead cat. Why is there a dead cat? Where is there a dead cat? Can we dispose of the dead cat? Why have we ended up back in a state where things aren't getting properly dumped? I think we succeeded in fixing that in part. More raven hatchlings. That lot tame. No, those have come out semi-wild. They all need to be trained. Stop the weapon trap being built, but no one's building the pressure plate anyway. And let's remove that nest box as well. It's been claimed, but it doesn't currently have any eggs in it. Yeah, someone's already laid more raven eggs. Oh, okay. I feel that once a raven has actually laid eggs in a nest box, it's kind of rude to demolish the nest box. Good night, Simon. How are we down at 13 frames per second? Is this because we've got too many ravens? An animal has become a stray war leopard. Excellent, right. So we now have 5 stray war leopards. I'm not sure we need to keep trainers assigned to them once they're trained for war. Possibly there's like skills they can carry on learning. Don't know. You don't seem to have any skills. So we could now try to move the ravens to the goblin... Wait, ravens? Leopards to the goblin welcoming area, but... we could see if we could find that weapon trap that's got... no, let's not demolish any weapon traps yet. Right, okay, quite a lot of our dwarves are currently just trying to put ravens in their correct place. That's fine. Oh, Wombat found a giant wild boar to get into a fight with. That turns out to be quite bad for the Wombat. I fear that our stray Wombat may not survive that encounter. Item blocking sight, apparently. Alright, there's a bunch of forbidden objects on the place where we want to put a pressure plate. There we go, no longer forbidden. And unsuspend the construction. Well, yes, I'm not surprised the Wombat's gone wild. It got into a quite painful fight with a thing. Giant hamster. Right, someone is now going to stray wa. Ah, stray war grizzly, yes. We could lower the bridge, that will make it easier to get to that the area on the east side of the river, couldn't we? That would probably help. Right, one of the nest boxes is demolished. I kind of suspect that that kiwi is not coming back to her nest. Indeed, assuming we even have a kiwi still. We do. But like, she's currently underground and quite unhappy. I don't think she's coming back to that nest, so I think we can demolish her one as well. Unforbid her egg and demolish that. Someone is now coming to fix the pressure plate. Yes, you can't be with your family because you have no family. I'm pretty sure of that, yes. Still, here is this dwarf coming to finish assembling the pressure plate, which is mostly going to involve removing all of the pile of stuff on it. Right, the pressure plate is now assembled. Now it needs to be linked to that bridge. Actually, I think it would be reasonable to mark that as a high priority job. Right, we've now lowered that bridge to make things a bit quicker. Now we can unsuspend. No, we'll unsuspend that one. It should be treated as a lower priority than the linking. Yes, that's fine. We've bought everything we want from you. So how's the raven training going? I think we've got some. That one's been trained, which wasn't before. Still 4 that need it though. I mean, I suppose we could allow some dwarves to have pet ravens if they want them. They don't all need to be in the tower. So someone is working on linking that up, which is kind of critical. Let's allow at least one raven to be someone's pet if they want a pet raven. Curious, there's apparently one inaccessible raven. Someone is trying to geld a stray giant hamster. I think they're currently, this person here, heading over to the giant hamsters to try to collect one. Sure, this will go fine. Wonder if we should have a second pressure plate as a kind of backup in case the first one gets toppled. Because, like, if they bring a troll or something, they might be able to do that. So this dwarf is now dragging a giant hamster back to be adjusted. So we may have another 7 ravens coming there, and another 4 there. I think that will probably be enough ravens. You got displaced across the railway, and so now you're going over the footbridge to get back. That's kind of odd. It does take a long time to drag a giant hamster to the right place for gelding. Are we still, like, trying to get ravens to the right place as well? Yes, a little bit. Just having a quick look at how unhappy our unhappy dwarves are. Sodalatirog is still very unhappy. Asen Thingamy is, like, only moderately unhappy despite everything. And despite spending most of their time in meetings, which, like, you wouldn't have thought that a meeting was a way to make yourself happier, but... So what? How does gelding work in Dwarf Fortress anyway? Like, you're taking it. I think you take it to a farmer's workshop or something. And is that somewhere over here? Have I really fouled this up in terms of locations? Then someone's going to have to take this giant hamster back again. There is a part of me that's thinking that maybe I should reorganise the upper levels of the fortress to be a little less mad. But like that would take dwarf time, and we don't have a lot of spare time in terms of like there are always actual jobs that need doing. Right, that was a very quick bit of gelding. It just took an awfully long time to get the hamster to the right place. Where are you going to clean? Like, I'm slightly surprised that you didn't just... You don't clean because you... maybe you could see that on the way in? Ah, and someone is finally dumping the dead turkey. There's our mysterious dead bear. All linking that up. People are still trying to get animals to their rightful places, but presumably I mean, it's possible the Tower of Keskalokil will be overcrowded with this many ravens. And it didn't seem like we could arrange like multiple floors of it easily. Alright, and someone's working on the weapon trap as well. Good. This is actually even vaguely the right order. People are dumping things, which is nice because it's nice to be that far down the list. You may be building the weapon trap. I think there's an argument that if we're going to build weapon traps in quantity, we probably want to set up a well, actually, one thing we could sensibly do is to have a stockpile of mechanisms that isn't over there. Like if we put a stockpile of mechanisms, since we can't build traps over on the right there anyway. Basically, that edge there is the border of where traps can go. So we could set up a stockpile like over here. For mechanisms. Assign it a couple of wheelbarrows. And since we're not building many machines in this area, I'm actually quite tempted to just delete that stockpile entirely. So then that'll mean that we spend less time lugging mechanisms. Pink Beast asks, don't towers usually have multiple floors? Yes, but I didn't seem to be able... I'm now wondering if I can do something clever to be able to easily extend the pasture over multiple floors. Can I just now go paint? Yes, see, I can't paint up here. I can like paint additional spots on that floor. But if I try to paint on any different floor, I can't. So essentially we can't say the ravens have to confine themselves to the multiple floors of the tower. We would have to assign ravens specifically to each floor of the tower, which would be kind of weird. Right, so that the goblin drowning machine is now connected up again. We're still trying to construct that weapon trap, but I think someone is heading over here. Indeed, here they are, heading over here with a mechanisms. In order to build the next weapon trap. Excellent. And now clearing some of the corpses off the square, and there we have it. An additional weapon trap filled with silver malls. Let's wait a bit for some of the... are you are pushing a wheelbarrow with 3 copper mechanisms is in it in order to fill up this stockpile, and a lot quicker than by lugging them by hand. Okay, that giant wild boar has given birth while in a cage. That's nice, if possibly unhelpful. Don't quite know how we get the dead goblins out of these cages. Don't quite know why there are dead goblins in those cages, but... Still trying to get ravens to the correct location. I'm slightly worried the ravens may just be wandering off again. But I think they stay where they're put. I think most animals do. Oh, that was the wheelbarrow that I forbade because someone else was moving it. Now it looks like it may have 2 mechanisms stuck in it. That's kind of odd. Anyway, now we can build a new trap here using a conveniently nearby copper mechanisms. And there's quite a lot of nearby weapons as well. Possibly because they were removed when someone demolished another weapon trap. Right, so that's now progressing. Oh, masterwork has been lost. I wonder how that happened. Oh well. Appears to be a dead... Oh, someone's already dumping that. Dead stray war leopard. Little concerned by that. Okay, a giant wild boar got into our fortress and has been causing trouble and may possibly still be here. Is that you? Where is that giant wild boar then? Well, there's a raven who's just been thrown through the air. I mean, I suppose I could just go, hey, Salty Inks, please could you kill something in that area? Oh, there's the giant wild boar, right, yes. Happily now surrounded by military dwarves of varying levels of usefulness, which I think was quite effective. But we are now down one leopard. Raven hatchling seems to have done okay though. And like a giant wild boar is not really much of a match for a decent number of well-armed dwarves. It's just people standing up and it's thus nothing to worry about. Right, so nothing very exciting has happened this evening. Because, well, we've basically run a month from early spring to mid-spring. We successfully killed the two remaining suspicious that no one's sitting on that egg nest box. We've successfully killed the two remaining goblins who were in the tunnels. The raven situation is, well, we've got enough now. We are trying to reduce the giant hamster population and hoping to somewhat increase the grizzly population. Yes, and we're trying to cheer people up, but it is a bit difficult. Watching surgery demonstrations can only cheer you up so much. He's still interested. We could improve your bedroom, actually, if it's not a personal palace. That might help. Dizziot says, "You've not lost any more dwarves." Yes, true. That's slightly exciting. So yes, we will, I think, stop for the night here, and we'll be back on Sunday where maybe something exciting will happen. Maybe, why are you so unhappy? And maybe it won't. But we will like build more traps, if nothing else, so that when the goblins next come, even more of them can be chopped into little pieces, or ideally a few big pieces for ease of transport. So until then, I will say good night. Good night.